Welcome to Deep Relaxation class. Enjoy.
Ariom, good evening and welcome everybody. My name is Brian. I'll be your facilitator for our deep relaxation session this evening. So if you haven't already, just arrive in a clean and comfortable space, a space that might have some of your supports nearby. You might have a cushion or something to sit on. We're going to begin our class in a seated position. You might have some yoga blocks or blankets. Also, and always keep a glass of water you can drink as you need to. So all that there is to really do, all that we need to think about while we're here and we're settling in, is this focus on our breath. Just a relaxed yet attentive breath awareness. So wherever you're at, go ahead and just simply breathe now and be aware of your breath in and out. If it's comfortable, you might close your eyes and reduce some of that external stimuli. We really do use, if not overuse, our eyes so often. And so many times I'm finding throughout the day that I'm looking at all these really bright artificial lights, including my phone screen. And I've noticed that it does have a really direct cause and effect impact on how my eyes feel. Eye fatigue is a very real thing, which we're actually going to address here in our warm-up tonight. So while you're here, just notice if there's a tendency or a response to want to have your eyes closed or open. And if your eyes are open, just gently notice the things around you. Don't go into big stories about analyzing the history of the things around you or certain details about your space. Just relax your attention on your breath. Eyes open or closed, and just observe whatever your natural tendency. Just observe whatever comes up, comfortable or uncomfortable. There's no need to push your thoughts away, and there's no need to hold on to any one thought for very long. Except for that thought of the breath coming in and the breath going out. And I do want to propose a change in the way that we think about the breath right now. It's not something that we're going to assert our mastery over right now. It's not something that we're going to willfully change right now. All that I'm asking or proposing you to do, encouraging you to do, is to become aware of your breath right now. I like to kind of use this metaphor or analogy. You can imagine that this physical body, your physical body, is like a teapot, a vessel, a container. And that the breath was the tea. The breath is this beautiful life force that's going to fill the container and then be shared. And so I want you to imagine like you're being served tea as you breathe. That the breath is something you can receive and enjoy. And just like you might cool a cup of hot chocolate or coffee or tea or a hot bowl of soup, you're going to want to cool that through a breath out. And so just simply sit here like you're being served tea and breathe in and out. You'd like to let your mind dwell on the imagery of a hot cup of tea and the steam as you breathe in and out. If that helps relax you. And then just continue to scan through the physical body now. You sit here and receive the breath. As you're quietly served that tea, just simply observe without any judgment how your physical body feels right now. Just check in. Ground yourself right here. You can open the eyes if they were closed. And just start to use some gentle movement to bring awareness into your hands. Just gently open and close your hands, or just bring your mental awareness into your hands. Now bring your hands to touch in the center of your chest. Let the muscles in your face stay relaxed. Your shoulders and neck be relaxed. Find that balance between relaxation and a gentle, attentive awareness. Release any kinds of attachments or expectations to this moment. Just arrive as you are. Total acceptance and grace for this moment arrived at. With your hands resting in that symbolic heart center, I want you to breathe in and imagine a fragrant smell, an aroma. Could be a family recipe or a favorite meal, or a fragrant floral cup of tea. And imagine bringing that smell in as you breathe. And just release it as you breathe out. And do that 3 or 4 more times and see if you can't even detect a faint taste or aroma, that scent, sweetness of the present moment as you settle in further. Let your face relax. Like your face was being bathed in a heavenly light, or like a warm oil bath, just gently washing over the face. You're hydrated and relaxed. And now as you inhale with a gentle effort, keep the hands together and reach your hands up and overhead. Part the hands, relax the shoulders. Just simply stretch your arms up towards the ceiling, beyond, towards the cosmos. Just observe your best effort, leading the hands overhead. And then just gently soften through the elbows and shoulders. Keep the palms turned up. And just breathe. And you accept this moment right now as it is. Exhaling completely, bring the hands to touch in front of the chest. And with your breath, sync movement and breath. Inhale, make your best effort. Stretch the spine, stretch the arms, inhaling. And exhale, just gently soften the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, and fingertips. Hold the breath out. Inhale. So we're coordinating our attention to breath with movement now. Exhaling. You can imagine like you were washing and cleaning that vessel, the teapot, with breath and movement. Next time you exhale, bring the hands to touch in front of the chest. And we're just going to gently stretch out the arms to the side, pressing the palms away, and just make some small circles with the hands. If you wish, you could drop the head and neck side to side, rotating the head and neck gently. Press the palms away, sit up tall, breathe deep. Exhale, relax the hands back to the lap. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up, squeeze the hands into gentle fists. Exhale, intentionally retract the shoulder blades and settle them back and down. Keep the core engaged. You're really lengthening through the torso as you sit. Inhale, gentle fists, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, retract the shoulders, release the hands. Exhale any tension you might find in the shoulders. Do that 5 more times with your breath. Inhaling, gently shrugging up. Exhale, release. Gradually replacing tension and tightness, spaciousness, flexibility, a gracious contentment. Inhabit this vessel. That's the tea. I'm happy to be served right now. Breathing in that grace from the shoulders up. Exhale, settle in. Contentment, awareness, and acceptance of this moment. Again. Great job. Inhale, open the arms out wide to the side. This is the last part of our seated warm-up here. And now exhale, press the palms away and hold this cross shape, this capital T shape. And just simply look over and find your right hand thumb with your eyes. This is that stretch for our eyes now. And then exhale, keeping your head turned over to the right. Exhale and just look forward towards camera with the eyes. So you're going to be looking out of the periphery with your eyes to the front and left. And then back towards the thumb with the eyes. And back towards the periphery on the left with the eyes. Do that a few more times. You can rotate out the wrists, stretch the hands while you're here, but keep also moving the eyes. Relax the hands down, interlace the hands and roll the wrists out. Give the eyes a little break. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Press the hands out firmly to the side. Make your best effort. And then go ahead and look simply over that left shoulder. Look at the thumb, really using the eyes to find that thumb, and then just scan the horizon line back towards front and center. Without moving the head or neck, just stretch the eyes. Good. Relax. Bring the hands back down. Roll out the wrists side to side. Very good. All right. Return to that comfortable seat. Make any adjustments that you need to. Sit up tall, lengthen through the spine. And exhale completely and gently press the hands against the belly. And then inhale, notice the body's natural response. As you inhale, the diaphragm swells, the chest, the belly, the ribcage. And then exhale, feel that descent, that gradual settling in. And feel that space between the breath. That's the space that we're really going to work out of as we continue through our practice tonight. So we're going to go ahead and make our way onto our hands and knees. So you can go ahead and clear your mat. And we're going to warm up with a cat and cow stretch. Now it's really important that we keep and maintain the length of the spine here. So you want ample space between your wrists and your knees. Ideally, your hands would be right out in front of your shoulders and your knees right underneath of your hips. Lengthen the spine long. Retract the shoulder blades together. And just press the floor away and notice what it's like to be here. Return to that same breath awareness practice and continue. If other thoughts or distractions come up, use your breath to guide yourself through the practice. Stay present. Now, as you inhale, start to gently rotate your hips like you were tilting your tailbone away. At the same time, really focus on lengthening the front half of the body, lengthening through the belly and chest, lengthening through the crown of the head, and then exhale, suck the belly in, scoop the hips forward, and press the hands firmly into the floor, rounding through the spine. And then inhale, settle back in through this tabletop pose and back into your cow stretch. Keep lengthening the spine and listen to your body and what it's telling you. Your body will tell you where you can make adjustments and maybe even how you could move to facilitate that release and settling in. When you're ready, go ahead and stretch one leg out behind you. I'm going to start with my front leg here, this left leg. And keep the toes on the floor. Exhale completely. And then with your inhalation, gently try and draw that heel in towards the glute. Exhale, straighten the leg, toes to the floor. Inhale in. Go ahead and do that about 5 more times. If it's hard for your wrist to be on the floor, you could be on your knuckles, but something that's actually a little more sustainable would be to grab some yoga blocks and just bring your hands to those corners of the blocks, and you can actually grip the block instead. You might find that's a little bit easier and more sustainable on your wrists. After you've gone through that 5th cycle, the outstretched leg, I want you to press that heel back towards the ceiling and simply cross that leg over. Tap the floor with the knee on the outside edge of the opposite leg. And then repeat back up, around, and over to the front. So I'm using my left leg. I'm going to lift that left leg up, cross the left knee behind the right, and then go ahead and repeat. Great job. Next part of the sequence, we're going to go ahead and lift this left knee out to the side, just about hip height. So still pressing the floor away, we're going to lift and engage and lower back down. And you're doing about 6 to 8 of these slowly and mindfully. Great job. And then when you're ready, go ahead and just rest in child's pose. Let the knees come a little bit wider. You could take a couple of blocks or support to make a little platform to kind of bring the floor up to you and make this kind of into a restorative child's pose. Or you could just simply rest on the knees with the forearms down, forehead relaxing towards the floor. You're ready? Come on up back to your hands and knees. And we're going to repeat that sequence on the other side. So you're going to stretch that back leg out behind, and then just simply curl that right heel back in towards the glute, and then extend. Do this with your breath. Try and stay really focused on that space in between the breath. Your spine long. Great job. Next part in the sequence, we're going to go ahead and press that right heel up towards the ceiling, and then cross right knee out in front of left. Inhale, bring it on back, set the knee down, back and center, and take a moment to really neutralize, and then re-engage and repeat. So go ahead and do that about 6 more times. Next part in the sequence, we're going to move into that side leg lift with the bent knee. You're just going to keep that right leg bent and lift the knee out to the side. And then when you're ready, you can lower back down and rest in child's pose. Now we're going to stay really grounded and close to the earth here. We're going to move into a gentle back bending sequence. And this is really going to help facilitate a nice counterbalance for some forward folds and more hamstring work that we'll get into later on. So to come into Cobra Pose, you're just going to gently come onto your belly. Put the hands right up underneath of the front of the collarbones. You want to try and keep the elbows into the side. Toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever you're more comfortable with here. And then go ahead and just gently widen your hips by shifting the weight side to side. Good. So this is really more about actually lengthening the spine and lengthening the front of the body than it really is about compressing or contracting the back of the body. So think about this as stretching the front of the body long. As you inhale, reach the crown of the head forward, draw the shoulder blades together, and gently, without very much help from the hands at all, lift the torso up. It might just be a lift of a few inches, or you might come up a foot or more. If you want to help with the hands, you can just gently press the hands down. You might even like a variation of Sphinx pose a little bit better, in which case you could just bring the elbows right outside the shoulders and press the forearms and palms down. When you're ready, you can come back down to relax. You can even just bring your arms to rest down by the side. And our next back bend that we're going to work into is going to be a half locust pose. So we're going to stay face down, and this time we're going to just lift one leg out behind. If you wish, you could actually bring your palms face up just underneath the tops of the legs. And then go ahead and just imagine like you were really trying to max out your stretch. Walk out your feet behind you and even drop your shoulders back and down and lengthen through the crown of the head. And now when you're ready, simply lift one foot, knee, leg up off the floor and hold. Keep breathing. You can keep your opposite cheek on the floor, or if you wish, you could bring your forehead to the mat. This is again more about of a horizontal stretch, a lengthening, rather than like a vertical lift. You might find that engagement of a happy in between. Try and keep your hips connected to the floor here. So if you've lost that point of connection with the left hip or whichever leg you're lifting with, lower that hip back down and focus on lengthening the leg out behind you. And when you're ready, lower that leg down and go ahead and switch sides. Lifting that opposite leg up. Lengthen the spine. Reach out long across that horizontal plane. When you're ready or with your next exhalation, you can lower that leg back down. Untuck the hands, gently press yourself back up into that all fours tabletop position. And let's just take a brief stretch in child's pose. So let's sink back and relax. So we're going to make our way into our first downward facing dog of the evening. And I want you to imagine downward dog as like this kind of like triangle shape. And the highest point in that triangle is actually going to be like your center of gravity. Or usually for most of us is that space right underneath of the belly button. So we're going to go ahead and come from that tabletop, that all fours position. And all you're going to do is shift the weight back like you're going to come back in child's pose. But this time, engage the legs, press the floor away through the feet, and lift the hips high. Gently bend one knee and then the other. Shake out your head and neck gently. With a little nod, yes. A gentle shake, no. Press firmly down through the palms. You could modify and come down onto forearms if you wish. Keep drawing the elbows in towards the center line of your mat. As you lift the hips high, bring a little bend in the knees. And then exhale, straighten the legs. That 4 or 5 more times. Inhale, bend in the knees. Exhale, straightening the legs. And when you're ready, come back down onto hands and knees. And we're going to go ahead and bring our legs out in front of us. Come back to sit. With our legs outstretched. And so this next piece that we're going to be working on is a little bit of a staff pose. But we're going to start, shift over here. We're going to start here in staff pose, and then we're going to work on a little bit more with our hamstrings and our knee joints. So sitting up tall here, you're going to feel those muscles in the lower back, around the erector spinae working. And I want you to bring your awareness to your sitting bones, those bones that you're literally sitting on. I want you to pick each one up and just shift it back gently, just like that. Once you've done that a few times and you feel like your seat is pretty supported, you might notice that there's already some tension in the hamstrings here. And so what we're going to do is really focus on just one side at a time, leg fully extended. My front leg is my right leg this time. I'm just going to bring that right heel and then sole the foot to the floor and hug that right leg in. And all I'm going to do is simply exhale and press and straighten that right leg out. That's all there is to it. Gentle sliding in, sitting up tall, squeeze the knee in, and then exhale. Grate that leg, press the right foot away. You might find that it's really hard to sit up just simply tall like this. And you might actually want to come down onto your back, which you totally could. You could just simply draw the foot along the floor and then press the foot and extend long. Whether you want to do this seated or lying down, totally up to you. Whatever your body is recommending, that's probably what's right, so go with it. Once you've done that about 10 times on that side, pause and switch. We're going to do it on the other side also. Try to decondition the rush and really experience the fullest quality of movement experience here. Really become aware of your range of motion. Release any story or expectation that your body has to be a certain way to respond a certain way. If something doesn't feel right or is warning you that there's pain, you have to respect that, be aware of that, and modify as needed. All right. So go ahead and just come back to that tall seated position in staff pose. If you're finding it still really difficult to sit here, but you want to try, you can always bring a cushion or something underneath of the legs. That's going to support under the knee joints here and take a little bit of the pressure out of the hamstrings. And from here, you can again shift the weight on the sitting bones, reestablish that sort of balance point in the seat. And then you can sit here in a modified or restorative staff pose. Now, I really want to emphasize how important it is that we try not to round through the spine as we move into these forward fold sequences. Because if you think about the vertebrae in our spine as like pearls on a string, when we are reaching forward like this, we're lengthening the space in between those pearls. And that's where those discs are. And so we really want to be careful, especially if you have a slip disc or any lower back issues, that we're practicing very safely. So what that means is you're just going to keep a nice straight tall back. There's a little natural curvature in most of our lower backs, in the lumbar spine, and we're going to just let that be. But we're not going to round into a turtle shell shape with the back. We're going to do our best to keep the spine extended, even if we reach the hands forward. Now, as you reach forward, the hands might reach the toes. They might not reach the feet at all, and that's fine. But just inhale and sit up tall, let the hands slide back up the legs. And as you exhale, keep the hands in connection with the legs and just gently push the fingertips back down towards the ankles. Inhaling, sitting up tall, lengthening through the spine. Exhaling, releasing, and gently folding forward. And I noticed that for me, this is about as far forward as I can go without jeopardizing that structural alignment in the spine. You might find that if you're patient, after continuous effort, continued practice, this range of motion will increase and the tightness and inflammation will decrease. Very good. When you're ready, we're going to slide that prop out of the way if you were using anything. Go ahead and come to rest on your back with your feet on the floor and your knees just about shoulder distance apart. I'm going to change up our camera angle here just a bit. And then go ahead and bring your arms out to the side in a letter T shape again. Palms face up. And just gently turn the head and neck side to side. Gently windshield wiper your knees side to side now, slowly increasing the range of motion. Gently closer towards the floor with the knee. And then we're going to go ahead and pick up this front leg. For me, the front leg is the right leg. And I'm going to lift this right leg and I'm going to circle it out towards the side and then back in towards the chest. And I'm going to make this kind of crescent moon shape back out, front, and then back in towards the chest. And you can even keep the hands bound around the back of that leg, around the right hamstring. You could just gently support this movement, really allowing the right leg to settle into that ball and socket joint of the right hip. I'm going to target the knee joint and hamstring. Flex that right foot, meaning you're pulling the toes, engaging them, pulling them back towards the knee. Take a nice deep, slow breath in. Cherish it as it fills up the lungs, and as you exhale, extend that right leg, trying to stack heel over top of hip. And then inhale again, relax the knee. Exhale, straighten the leg and press through the heel, stacking heel over hip. Now you might have to keep a little bend in that right leg, which is fine. Honor your body in this practice. Respect wherever you're at, just where you're at. Accept that. Acceptance and releasing of striving can really bring that contentment, natural equanimity, serenity back into this practice, back into the present, off of the yoga mat, wherever you're at. Just having that acceptance creates space for contentment. Settle in. And the next time that you have this front leg, your right leg, straightened out, heel reaching towards the sky, I want you to just walk your hand up the back of the leg, maybe another inch or two, maybe up to grab the foot. And then all I want you to do is just anchor that right glute and hip into the floor and hold here for 3 slow breaths. Gently squeeze the back of the leg with the fingertips. And massage the leg with the hands. And slowly work the hands down the back of the leg. Lower that right foot back towards the floor. And prepare to repeat on the other side. So we're just going to simply start by cradling this left leg out to the side and back into the chest. We do this with or without the help from the hands. When you're ready, we're going to move into those joint freeing exercises for the knees, which also benefits the hamstring flexibility, which in turn helps to promote a healthy back. So amazing how we're put together. Just taking your time, try to decondition the rush. Again, uniting breath, tension, and movement. Create this mindful movement in which you're receiving breath and receiving a stretch. Still actively, attentively participate. When you're ready, you can start to walk those hands up towards the ankle, anchor that leg, anchor that hip, and just hold here for a few breaths. Gently melt the hands down the back of the leg, hug that knee towards the chest. And then just gently set the foot down. Go ahead and stretch both legs out. Take a nice full body stretch. And exhale, just bring the hands to rest on your chest or on your belly, or out by the side if that's more comfortable. We're going to close our physical practice here with a gentle lying down twist. So make sure there's enough room side to side for your legs to go. Arms out to the side in a T shape. Bring the knees to stack right over top of the hip flexors. And notice how that little curve in the lumbar spine starts to flatten out as you engage the core, sucking the belly in. We're going to try and keep the back stable. Even if the knees and legs move side to side, the back of the body, including the shoulders and arms, will stay firmly connected just as they are now. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently lower the knees down towards the right side. Look over the left shoulder. Keeping the shoulders and back connected to the floor. And then go ahead and switch. Gently lowering the knees to the other side. Shoulders stay connected to the floor. When you're ready, bring the knees back to center. Hug the knees in towards the chest. And just gently massage the back of the body, rocking the spine side to side. And then gently lower the feet on the floor and let the knees stack inward like you were leaning two weights against each other. We're going to spend a few minutes in this constructive rest position where there's nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to be. Just simply rest and receive your breath. Feet are going to be about as wide as the mat, with the knees stacked in. Let the hands rest wherever they're comfortable. Continue to relax here for as long as you need to. You might gently straighten the legs or choose a restorative pose. Stay with your breath. Allow your physical body to relax so much that you can just forget about it for a little while. You'll notice a direct connection between your ability to remain still and your respiratory rate. And as your breath, that rate of how you breathe slows, you'll notice that your mind and the thoughts also start to calm and slow down. And no, it's not all too good to be true. It doesn't happen all at once, not usually. But as you train the physical body and the breath and the mind to unite in this present moment with that spirit of serenity and grace, that's where your yoga really starts to happen. That's where it begins. So without much more needing to be said, we'll just simply enjoy being still here, holding space for each other in the next few moments. Stay with your breath. Just observe as your breath goes in and out. Feel the lightness, the peacefulness, deepening in the periphery of your awareness. Just feel a softening around any sharp or tight edge, any barriers or obstacles. Let them just be smoothed away until all that remains is a clean, clear, smooth surface, a relaxed, polished awareness, a loving awareness. Continue to rest here and feel nourished by the time spent here. Thank yourself for being. Thank Great Spirit, God, your connection to that higher power for facilitating this time that we can come together, experience that community that supports your well-being. Take this time to reflect and rest in gratitude for as long as you need to. May that light inside of you overcome all darkness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Again, the encouragement stands to rest here and reflect as long as it serves you. And whenever you're ready to close your practice, you can do so intentionally, mindfully, and gracefully by simply returning to a comfortable seat, bringing the hands to touch in front of your heart. Let the softly spoken or silently acknowledged thank you for yourself. You can close your practice. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat.